So I've already drawn out the owl onto the canvas and given it a coat of acrylic medium and a little bit of burnt sienna as an imprimatura to paint onto. Now I'm just putting in with some Payne's grey. Once that's dried, I'm going to put some Payne's grey in to put in these darkest areas so I don't lose them when I paint over the top. So the colours I'm going to be using are titanium white, Payne's grey, raw umber, burnt sienna and yellow ochre. And this is a limited palette of earth colours, and I find painting a limited palette so very refreshing. And I think you'll enjoy it too. I think you'll find it a lot easier to use a limited palette rather than the thousands of tubes of paint that you have in your drawer perhaps. So I'm just knocking in those basic lines and shapes there with that small brush. I'm just going to put some mid-tone greys in where the shadows are in the white face of the owl. It has a lovely white face, so I'm just going to loosely put in where those shadows are. Very quickly and loosely. And also going to put in some of the highlights, a little bit of tiny bit of yellow ochre and white, just to put those basic tones in. I'll be going over the top of this quite a lot with different layers. It's all about painting in layers. So there we go, that's got those highlights in. A quick mist spray of water, and then I can go to my large 1-inch brush, bristle brush, it's flat bristle brush, and start blocking in some of the basic shapes and colours of the background. Okay, I'm not bothered if I go over some of the edges of the bird that much. It's going to develop and evolve as it progresses. So these are the basic shapes. Now, I want basically the background and part of the bird to be abstract, most of the bird to be impressionist, and then the face to be realist or detailed. So all this abstract, messy part is going to be leading your eye towards the cleaner, detailed area of the face. And that's going to direct people's attention to the head and the face. So I'm just going to use this large brush for most of the painting here. I'll get some of the lighter tones of the bird as well put in. Very loosely and very quickly. If you paint quickly with acrylics, you'll find it a lot easier, and you can only do that with large brushes. You can't do this with small brushes. Be bold and be expressive. And that's how to paint with acrylics. A quick mist spray of water, and then I can use my silicone tool to move that paint around and create these wonderful abstract shapes, and to blend and blur some of those edges. I don't want hard edges of the bird running all the way down the painting. Only around the head should it be tight. And even then they can be blurred as well. So all the tools I'm using here and the brushes and materials, etc., I've left links in the description below if you're interested in them. And if you use those links, then you'll be helping to support me and my channel, which helps me to keep bringing you these videos. I also want to give a shout out to all my members, subscribing members, and also my members of my tier that I have, who join me on my live painting streams, which is about once a month at the moment, with live questions and answers. Okay, so once that's dry, that layer, again it's about painting in layers, I give it a little coat of, or mist spray of water, and then I go back into that background once again with the second layer using similar colours. This time they're going on a little bit more smoothly because I'm going over the top of a previous dried layer. So you can see how it's looking a lot more smooth, and because I'm painting quickly it's blending, so it's looking like oil paint. because it's actually performing like oil paint. If you can keep the paint wet or moist or damp, then you can make it look like oil paint and it will paint exactly the same way. Okay, a little bit more colour now into the bird itself and into these wings. So, as I said, I'm going to be doing this impressionist style, the bird. So I don't want to do detail in all those feathers. I just want to give hints, give the impression that there are wing feathers there. Okay, now a little mist spray of water once again, just to keep it damp. And then I can go over the top of that once again with the silicone tool and make it messy. That first layer was much messier, which is how I like to start a painting, very messy, and then qualify it as the painting progresses. Bring those areas into detail that I need to bring into detail, and leave the other areas nice and abstract and messy and loose. Okay, a few more details now. I've gone to a smaller brush. This is a smaller bristle brush. It's a cheap one. I don't particularly like new brushes, so this is a nice worn one, which produces lovely abstract sort of brush marks. They're not neat and tidy. Just going to qualify a few of these areas. Use my finger to blend. Don't be afraid of using your fingers. That's what you have them for. Putting a shadow area now around that eye and the tone of the beak and that little line around that edge. And also under its chin there's a shadow, which I will alter as we go along. And that blends off into the rest of the bluey grey coat there. And I'll add some of those colours elsewhere into the bird. Same colours that are in the background. So it creates this colour harmony throughout the entire painting. Some blues into the top of the head as well. And into the wings just here and there. Just to give the colour harmony. And that's just giving me the edge of the bird. Just on the lower edge. It's not hard and sharp. It's still soft. Now I'm putting a suggestion of those wing feathers in there at the bottom. The long wing feathers. But it's only a suggestion. It's an impression. I don't want to get a fine brush out and start doing every tiny little fibre of each little feather. That's not what this painting's about. It's about being loose and free and expressive and directing the attention to certain areas of the painting. In this case, the face. Now, I could have made the face nice and abstract as well and just directed the attention to the wing. But it wouldn't be the same. This is a portrait, so it has to be the face. It has to be the most important part of the painting. So just put some of these little colours in here. Constantly now moving around and fiddling with the thing with different colours and putting some of those colours into the background again and making little impressionist-like brush strokes to look like grasses. Using my finger again to blur and blend that area. Now I can go to a small brush with some Payne's grey and make this eye a little bit better, make the shape of it a little bit better. And also the depth, because the paint will dull down slightly, dark paint will dull as it dries, so you need to go over it a few times to make it nice and dark. And the same with the lights, even more so with the highlights. With white you have to go over it several times, maybe even half a dozen times, to get it to stay white. And pure white. Now I'm using a technique that I use called the splayed bristle technique, where I use an old worn nylon brush and fairly liquid paint, and then I splay the bristles like that. It splays them out, and I can paint all these fine lines in one go without having to paint every single one with a tiny, tiny little brush. And this is how you paint detail quickly. Yeah, I could do it with a little brush and do it all bit by bit, tiny little bit at a time, but why do that when one brush will do it all? Okay, anyway, like I said, I'm not trying to make this photorealistic. I'm just putting a little bit more detail into the face. I could develop this painting and make it look photorealistic, but that's not where I am at the moment. That's not the type of painting I want to do. Bend those bristles. Now with a bit of pure white over the top of that previous white that I put on, which had a bit of yellow ochre in. So it was an off-white. So now pure white over the top will brighten that up. But as it dulls, you will still see some of that yellow ochre through it. But not... the white will still show, but not so much. And each time I do it, it will get brighter and brighter. So I need to let that dry, let that layer dry while I do other areas. This part of the cheek, and this part of the side of the head and the neck there. And using my finger to blend as well. And different tones, different shades of that grey there to create that blurring and blending of that edge. Now it's got these little ruffles at the side of the head here that just catch the light. So I'm using some pure white on a little small brush here just to put those lights in. Little highlights. And also put a little grey light on the edge of the beak there. And then using pure white, I'm going to put a little highlight just there, and it just brings that beak to life, like a little shine on that edge of the beak. I'll also do the same with the eye. I'll put a little highlight on the lower edge of the eyelid, the lower eyelid, tiny one on top there. Same with that eye. And then I need to put a little highlight in the eye as well, on the top edge, just there. Like that. And I've made a little mark there with my finger, so just wet my finger and take that paint out. I just got some paint on my hand and it got transferred to the painting. It's easy with acrylic. You just wet it, wipe it off. This is the beauty about keeping the paint damp. Keeping it wet. You can still move it around. Putting a bit of burnt sienna now into the eye and around the shadow of the eye. So a bit of Payne's grey as well, just to make it a bit darker there. It wasn't as dark as I wanted it to be, that little shadow area. And the same under the chin, that little shadow there. It's almost dry brush technique that now. And I'll put those little lights back in again on the lower eyelid and in that highlight. And then using the pure white, put those little dots back in again, and the eyes just suddenly come to life. And I'll put those lights on the edge of that ruffle once again. Constantly going over the lightest areas. So you can see the detail I'm putting in the top part of the head there is hard edged against that dark background. So it's drawing your eye towards the face. Because nowhere else do I have that sort of detail. The further away I come from the face, the less detail there's going to be, and the more impressionist and abstract it's going to be. So I'll just get some lighter colours now for the wing and the feathered area, putting some abstract little marks in to give me the hint of these different colourings and feathers that are there. And I'll put some colouring also into the head here, the side of the head. It's a little bit more warm, like that. Now it's beginning to take shape. Put some of these lights back in once again over that dried layer. And I can do the same with the greys, a light grey here. Bluey grey with the Payne's grey, gives a lovely bluey grey. And I can make sure these look a little bit better, these colourings and these little areas of detail. The more times you go over a layer, the more refined you can make it. So I don't really want to do too many more layers now, but I just really want to make sure I've got the lights in the right place and as bright as I want them to be. So back to the splayed bristle brush, splayed bristle technique, and then back to the fine line brush, doing these little warm areas in the eye. And then with a dagger brush I can put in some more of these grasses that the owl is sort of standing in impressionist style. I'm not doing them detailed. A few longer ones here, different colours, different tones, still keeping to the simplified palette all the time, keeping to those few colours. If you do that, it creates that lovely colour harmony throughout the painting. A few splatters of paint now with this brush. I do like put a little bit of splattering in here and there, because you cannot paint these with a brush. It has to be splattered. Just gives the impression of a messiness that I like so much. Okay, just qualifying the eye once again. It's nearly finished now, there's not a lot more to do to it. I'm going to start putting in a little bit of, well, I put a few highlights around the eye there, and I need to get that really bright highlight back in the eye like that, and then re-establish those lights throughout the bird. I might put a little bit of colour on the beak as well, but overall I should say that that's everything. I think I'm happy with that, and that's the painting finished. If you have enjoyed this video and hopefully found it interesting and entertaining, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Be sure to click on the little bell icon if you wish to be notified of my latest videos. I am always interested in your questions and comments, and I do try to answer every one of them. Hopefully I will see you on my next painting video, so until then, have a lovely day and happy painting!